The following episode contains strong language, sexual and crude humor, and references to drugs and alcohol.
Previously on Masks and Mayhem.
And it looks like he's accelerating just a bit too much. Does the full car flip, does like a full corkscrew 360 right above the actors' heads.
Call Zoe, and I go, I managed to stop the car. I'm calling the people who own it.
What about the driver?
He took off into the woods. His name is Flint Petrol, and he is a stunt driver.
We fade back in to a Los Angeles street corner, and you have just met Sonic Boom. My plan was just I was going to go drop him off in front of the police station.
That works. Don't currently have a speedster on my team, so, it seems like it'd be a lot faster for you to do that.
Yardak, I've been speaking with your mother, and we wanted to talk with you.
About what?
The Queen walks up to you and says, depending on where the vote ends up, the potentially large changes, perhaps it's time we bring you home once things start getting settled and have you back in Atlantis. Brock, you're driving Bev's car along with Carl. Carl was super excited to go visit Aunt Jessica 3 hours north. She's up in Seaport Beach, Maine. There's a bit of sand that goes out into the water, and it's got some brush on it. And you can see that there is someone behind it picking through all the brush, but you can tell that they've got to be at least knee-deep in the water. And from what you can see, they're wearing, like a business suit.
We'll let him scoot off and then go investigate them bushes.
You see, a couple petals that have fallen to the ground, that they're kind of like a fluorescent pink.
Pull out a sandwich bag so I can pluck up a sample.
And we fade in back to the laser hut, where you're standing outside, Brock Bollea, with Meg.
How do you know where I live?
When I first heard about the attack, that I was kind of struck with a vision. Then it happened again. And again. Each time I had the visions, they were more focused, and they were focused on you.
Where did you say you were from again?
I didn't. I was on a place that, in your tongue, it would be called Cooper City Station.
You're from... And Brock sort of vaguely points up.
And she just points up and nods yes. So it's been a month since the events of the last episode, and so now it is June of 2024. Let's fade in, starting on Ruby. What have you been up to for the past month since your confrontation with Flint Petrol?
I'm sorry, it's Pride Month and you're going to start with the straight character?
Wow, homophobic.
No, good point. I'm going to leave this in. Let's fade in on Yardak.
I am plugging Yaradamo. Like, it's fish on fish, tartar sauce.
Besides copious copulation, what have you and Yaradamo been up to? And just in general, because you're your own person.
We went to Magic Mountain with Ruth.
Dude, if you're gonna go to some kind of a theme park on the fucking West Coast, at least keep it in world and make it like Wondertainment World shit.
Yeah, so in the month since the last episode, Yardak and Yaradamo were they wanted to see the countryside, so they've been going on a bunch of little trips here and there, and most recently they went to Sunset Beach in Florida. Lots of discounts ever since that monster attack, and, just kind of doing the boyfriend thing, bopping to and from the colony.
Okay, so by the colony, you mean Chenpar Atlan.
Yeah, the one with all them syllables. And, going back and forth between there and, trying to see my mom more, because after seeing her, I realized, how little I did see her for the past few years. So, I've really been trying to get, back home.
Okay, so you've been traveling a lot then, given that...
I can swim real fast.
Well, it's like a full day's swim to get to Atlantis, 24 hours.
That's just one day.
Okay, so Yardak's been doing a shit ton of traveling. Sounds like you probably hasn't even really been in Riverside too much then.
Pretty Riverside light for me the past 3-4 weeks.
What about Brock? What has Brock been up to this past month, since you took your son up north and left him for the weekend?
Brock has tried to have as low-key of a month as possible. Hanging out with my kid, obviously. Hanging out with my new lady friend, kind of helping her get acquainted to the finer points of Earth culture. And, I imagine that probably the most serious thing that I've been getting up to is continuing to try to look into Pam's case.
Okay.
See if I can find anything useful for her. But other than that, I don't know. The city hasn't fallen apart in a while, so I've been taking advantage of that.
Yeah, I'll say it's been a surprisingly chill month. Crime rates are way down. Just everything kind of in the wake of the Midnight Wars has kind of just been on a steady, calming trend.
I have also been trying to patch things up with Kit, I guess. I felt like the last time I contacted him, things were a bit weird, so just making sure that I'm getting a hold of him for not work purposes to remind him, like, hey, you're my friend too. Also, I imagine that I have been, checking in on Medic Mouse at least every couple of days.
Okay, well, I guess starting with Medic Mouse, you've been kind of keeping up. Lydia's actually been your point of contact for that, and she's just been kind of sending you updates. Unfortunately, there just hasn't been a lot of movement. They've tried a couple of different things. They've tried using her own, healing power since they had the deserters had those, canisters of the stored fluid. They tried using that. They had Yardak give another try and then compared, her vitals and things to see if there was much change. And they've kind of been tracking her. And they see the occasional evidence of brain activity and, the occasional, twitch of, a finger or even, an eyebrow. Little signs of movement, but nothing dramatic. No indicators that we're on, a steady road to recovery.
Okay, well, she's not getting worse, so that's about the best I can ask for.
No, certainly not. I mean, comparatively, the care that she is getting now is evidently and visibly better.
I sure as shit hope so.
Yeah, well, I guess because she's not just being kept on, the brink of life. She's actually being cared for.
They're not stealing her life force to,
So she's not in a box anymore?
On the Kit side of things, let's have you roll a persuasion check.
Okay. That's not bad. 11 plus 8 is 19.
And when you call him up, Brock, what's going on?
Oh, nothing. Just wanted to see how you were doing, man.
Oh, good. Yeah. It was a smooth ride back, out of Riverside, keeping busy. It's going back to a physical therapist to, just kind of after everything, make sure I'm still in good shape.
Good. Happy to hear that. After everything that happened, probably a good idea.
Got my chair fixed up. After this last incident, I added some security features for the future. Hopefully, knock on wood, I never have to use them.
Fingers crossed.
Thanks for checking up on me. How are you?
Same shit, different pile. Figured I haven't really gotten a hold of you since everything went down. Wanted to check in, man.
No, sure. I appreciate it. Sorry, I've been kind of MIA. Just been preoccupied. Oh, that does remind me, though. You sent me some information, and I want you to roll a investigation check.
Okay. Plus 10 is a 19 again.
Yeah, I had someone on my contacts swing through Riverside and do a scan of the address you gave me. Obviously, it seems like it's been a long time since the crime occurred, but I had them just tear up for any fingerprints they could find, and I'll say I got some hits. I'll send those now that you reminded me. I'll send those over to you. I don't know if any of them are leads. Be careful. Don't just go roughing people up. These could just be people that just lived there. It's been a couple years. It's been a couple years now. So hopefully that helps get you on the track with what you're looking at.
For sure. And don't worry. I think I'm long past my roughing up strangers years. At least not without good cause.
All right. Yeah, I do got to get going. Is there anything else you need from me?
No, that's about it, buddy. Just wanted to check in. I appreciate the update.
All right. Yeah, I got to go. All right. Bye. Click.
Talk to you, buddy. I guess I'll go fuck myself.
I'm going to give you a hero point, though, for your efforts.
For being a good friend.
Meanwhile, things have been really great with you and Carl. He really enjoyed getting to hang out with you up in Maine. Even nothing happened with that guy never came back looking for, the weird plant, but he was excited because he kind of got to be a part of something. He was on the case.
It's kind of what I was hoping was going to be the situation.
Jessica also sent her love when he came back, just she was glad to see as well. Ruby, what have you been up to this past month?
I've been working. I assume that season's still going on. Maybe it's wrapping up soon.
It's only been a month, so
I didn't know how far they were into the season. And maybe doing the rounds on podcasts again?
Yeah, that would make sense that she's been trying to again get the word out, especially now that you guys have been on such a long hiatus.
Yeah. Posting pictures that are allowed on social media, getting them approved, but being like, hey, for publicity, can I post this? And
every time you go up to Derek, he's like, sure, you can post whatever you want.
And then I go check with an actual producer, and half the times I'm like, no, you cannot post that. I've been trying to keep track of Flint Petrol and seeing what he's up to, because he got away, and I don't like that.
There's definitely not been any news about it. Obviously, it was big headlines for a while, but there hasn't been anything. The company was just happy to get the car back, and they're not, I wouldn't say that, the film company is, sweeping it under the rug, but they're, trying not to keep a focus on it.
Yeah.
And because they're a media conglomerate, and they also own a news organization, that organization definitely isn't talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to have you roll a filmmaking check then. Let's see how well your time on the film set, as well as this is going to kind of count for your time on these guest spots.
I would say I'd also been patrolling, but obviously this role would not be for that. So I rolled a 16, so that comes up to a 27.
Yeah, because you got filmmaking as shit.
Yeah.
This has been very successful. It's really been kind of growing the publicity. You're essentially an official part of the press junket.
Okay.
You're not going with the actors to things, but you're the lead behind the scenes person besides maybe a writer.
I'm thinking that I have maybe taken on an extra responsibility of working with the marketing department.
Yeah.
To get behind the scenes, which I think would be something Ruby would be oh, that's a good stepping stone for stuff.
Yeah, I'd say it sounds like Ruby's kind of up for whatever as long as it keeps her in the industry, right? Keeps her in the industry without having to move to LA.
Yeah. On any days off, been patrolling normal, especially with Yardak not around as much, just trying to keep the city safe. Maybe patrolling with Pam a little bit.
That sounds like a great thing. So you're out patrolling with Pam. Let's roll an investigation check.
Well, I'm good at rolling for filmmaking, and less so for investigation. I rolled a 3.
Oof.
Hang on. Pitch it to RC as you're preparing for a documentary. Maybe he'll let you take it.
A 10.
Trying to follow up on Flint Petrol, actually.
Okay.
Just to see if he might still be in town, and you haven't found anything of note. You tried talking to some Blue Cross gang members, both in your, visual aid, as well as you tried doing it in a disguise. And Pam also gave a try, but without any luck. However, when you're out that same night, you see those same Blue Cross gang members. You see after they leave the bar, they go to hijack someone's car.
So I jump in an alley.
Okay.
And I visual aid up. I assume, is there a way for Pam to just quickly get into the Hornet outfit? I assume no.
Pam was wearing it underneath her street clothes.
Can I just make a boot appear on the car?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to make a boot appear on the car so they can't drive it.
This boot forms around the car. The car goes to take off, but then immediately is kind of just doing a half donut. And they get out to look at it and they're like, what the hell?
Should have paid the meter.
Oh shit. It's visual aid.
Yes, it is. Can we maybe not do this?
And they look like they're about to go fight you.
Yeah, I figured. A sword appears.
One of them was already, while you were making the sword, was midway through rushing at you. And
I just block him with the sword.
He punches the blade and he goes, oh, God, oh, damn it.
Ruby's mad that she's disappointed she wasn't able to get stuff, and it's just come on, guys.
Someone else get her. And another one goes to run at you, but then Pam had climbed up to the top of a building and jumps off and glide kicks into the guy and knocks him down.
Kind of should have seen that coming. It's not like I usually work alone.
Hero point for you for the quips.
Thanks.
So one's knocked down, the other is recovering from his injury, but you don't realize in time that the third one had actually pulled a gun out and had a bead on you when suddenly the guy is flying backwards and the gun is on the ground.
Is it the speedster kid?
And right in front of you, breathing really heavy, is a suited up Sonic Boom. Oh, man.
Oh my god, where have you been? Also, did you run here from the West Coast?
Yeah. Whew.
Mercy, give yourself a hero point. That was really good.
All right, villain point for me.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Hello. I feel like calling you Sonic makes it seem like I'm calling you the Hedgehog.
Yeah. I guess I could see that.
Did you name yourself after him?
What? No, it's a sound barrier.
I know what a sonic boom is, but you're a speedster who named themselves Sonic.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really think it through from a branding perspective.
Yeah, you could go by Boom.
He was very winded, and then you kind of just can see the color coming back to his cheeks as he suddenly seems okay again.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, wait, and he rushes over and punches the other guy who had punched your short sword earlier, because he looked like he was about to go at you.
Thanks again.
Yeah, super sorry that I haven't been in touch. I lost the phone that had that number.
And then I also tried to look for him and couldn't find him, right?
Correct.
And I go, also, you're doing the secret identity thing well, because I tried to check in, couldn't find a single thing.
So right after I got home that night too, my parents found out.
Ah.
I mean, in the same way that, parents find out all sorts of things. And it doesn't really, I'm a grown adult, of course. He is not a grown adult.
Kid, it's okay. In my head, Ruby is thinking about Mosey, and he goes, kid, there are worse things in this world to have than having parents that care about you.
He just kind of kicks the ground and he goes, I know, but I want to be a superhero.
I know, kid.
I made the suit and everything.
I am impressed by the suit.
And actually, when you look at the suit, there's a lot more detailing on it now. It looks a lot more form-fitting.
It looks cool, but also, do your parents know you're on the East Coast?
No. Might as well not lie to you.
I appreciate the truth. And I look around, is Pam here?
Yeah, Pam's here, and Pam, who is in full Hornet gear, just kind of tilts her head.
Remember I said I met a speedster kid when I was in LA?
She clicks on the voice modulator and goes,
Why is there a child in Riverside now, then?
I assume the speedster part has a lot to do with it. So, thank you for the assist. Why are you here? I assume without your parents' permission? I know without your parents' permission. You just said.
Oh, so, I saved up and I got a phone, and then I lost that phone, but then I saved up some more and I got a new phone, but I didn't have that number anymore and I didn't have everything backed up because it didn't seem secure to send that information to the cloud.
Nobody understands the cloud. I get it, kid.
This dude run all the way here to get your number, because if so, bro, that's a fucking game.
Okay, perhaps, maybe you should get a belt or something for your phone?
He unzips the side and there's a pocket, a chest pocket. He says, I put that in myself because I had the same idea that I needed some way to secure it because the last time it actually ended up flying out of my pocket. And anyway.
Okay. So did you run here just to get my number again?
I mean, I also wanted to say hi, but I figured that I had no other way of getting in contact with you.
This boy's an idiot. I love him.
Ruby, how do I keep Loki adopting powered children? Okay. Well, hello. It's very nice to see you again.
He grabs Pam's hand, which had been at her side, and starts shaking it. Hi, I'm Sonic Boom. It's so nice to meet you, Hornet. And she just looks at you. You can't see her eyes because she's wearing the helmet, and she looks back at him and she goes,
It's nice to meet you too, kid.
Well, what time is it in universe?
We'll say 8 p.m. Sun's setting.
Is Moby Dick's open?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're open till 11.
Do you like seafood?
I see food and I eat it. Yeah, I like seafood.
Okay. Oh, although I assume, do you want to keep your stuff on?
Well, no one knows me out here, right? So,
I mean, it's okay if you do. Or we could go to, I guess I look at Pam the Hut, I guess?
Pam looks at you and says,
I would call Brock, but that
Yeah.
seems like logical. I could get us takeout from Moby Dick's, though.
Sounds good. I give Brock a call.
Which phone?
The Lazerhawk phone.
Oh god, what's going on? I'm having such a good day.
It is related to superheroing, but no one needs to be, saved.
You know what? That's about as good a start to a conversation on this phone as I'm ever gonna get. What's going on?
Remember how I met a speedster kid in LA?
Yeah?
Guess who just ran here from the West Coast?
Myra.
Guess again.
You need a place to debrief?
Yes, and he's a child, so I thought the hut feels like a more secure place /
Yeah, what the hell? I'm not doing anything. Swing on through.
Cool. See you in a bit. I'm gonna send Yardak a text. Hey, remember when I met that Sonic Boom kid / Speedster kid? He's in town. We're heading over to the hut.
Yeah, sure. I'm not doing anything today. Well, why not? Haven't seen you guys in a hot minute. I'll pop over. And I absolutely send these as voice messaging because I'm just a dipshit with like actual texting still.
Look at the kid and go, you want to run or you want to get a ride in the Vizual van?
His eyes light up at the mention of the Vizual van. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really know where I'm going anyway, and I assume for security's sake, you don't want to just give me addresses.
That's probably a good idea, considering someone actually does live there, too. So we go over, I guess, is Pam getting in the van, too?
Absolutely.
Vamonos, let's go. We go over to the van as parked, and I put my hand on it, and the visual thing appears. Am I doing this just a little bit because I know the kid will think it's cool? Yeah.
Wow.
Hop on in. We get in, and then I don't know how we feel about this. The song that's probably overplayed by now, Carly Infinity, starts playing.
All right, and a jazzy little tune starts up. Pam goes to sit in the back so that he can sit up front.
And then, yeah, we get in, and we're driving to the hut.
Quick little skip, hop, and a jump, and you arrive. What are Brock and Megan doing?
If I'm gonna have company over, I'm at least trying to tidy up a little bit.
Polishing the monitors in the command center.
Yeah, some shit like that. Like, I imagine that we were just having like a real chill night before that, so.
I also am going to send a text to Brock that just says, do you want to be masked up?
Yeah, I'll get gimmicked. And I'll kind of let Megan know what's going on. Kind of let her know, like, if you want to hang out for this, you can. If you want to hang out in your room, you know, balls in your court.
And she grabs one of your masks and puts it on Brock.
It is in this moment that Brock Bollea realizes that he is, in fact, in love with this alien woman. But he does not acknowledge it yet because he's got other things to think about right now.
And she just goes, well, I didn't want to be the only one not wearing a mask.
Brock just puts a hand on each shoulder. If I've never told you this before, you are perfect just the way you are.
I'll point out, Yardak does not have a mask.
Oh god, this will be like everyone's first time like finding out that Brock has a woman living with him now.
Hey out there. If you're listening to this in the first few days of release, you have a chance to help determine the next character we commission art of. We currently have a poll running on our Ko-fi, and anyone can vote in it. So head to ko-fi.com/mayhemcast by August 2nd and cast your vote. And just a reminder that we put out a content calendar along with updates through our website at masksandmayhem.com. This month, along with episodes, I wrote an article about the history of Dr. Sloan Matthews. What makes someone choose to betray people so close to them? And what could be so important to give up friendship? We'll take a look and find out. But for now, let's get back to the game.
All right, so yeah, skip, hop, and jump. Yardak, are you bringing Yaradamo along?
Fuck it. Yeah, I'm not going to leave him alone tonight.
You all arrive at the hut, we'll say around the same time. You all see each other out, like the van crew pulls up as the fish folk are pulling on up.
By the way, we are going to see Lazerhawk.
I mean, cool. Very cool.
Oh, dude, this would be like fucking huge for him, like thinking about it. Because isn't Brock like one of like that first or second wave of heroes?
Yeah, it's like first wave, basically.
And, Ambassador Yardak.
And I'm just being a sarcastic little shit, so I walk up and I'm like, glub glub.
Oh man, the whole hive.
I think that name's sticking.
Shauna did it, not me.
He grabs your hand, Yardak, and starts shaking very excitedly. Mr. Gamemaster, it's so nice to meet you. It's been so cool. It's been awesome what you've done for the relations between Atlantis and the Earth.
Thanks, kid. What's your name?
I'm among friends here.
Yeah, I mean, you know me.
The people will eventually, maybe someday, know me as Sonic Boom.
Okay, cool.
But my friends and you can call me, Jose.
Trying to show a sign of good faith. I was like, you can call me Ruby.
Is Yardak your real name?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I walk in and go, Danny DeVito, I love your work. And then I see Megan, and I go, oh, hello.
Rimini, how many times have I asked you to stop kicking in my fucking door? Just because you can replace it doesn't mean I don't have PTSD. Also, hi.
Hi. I go, I have brought a very excitable child. I go closer to Brock and say, I told him my first name. You don't have to tell him.
Zoom! And he's already like there, and he's like grabbed your hand. He's like, hello, Lazerhawk. It's so nice to meet you. You're so cool.
Jesus Christ. I guess we're just ignoring that thing I just said about PTSD. Hi.
Oh, sorry. And he zooms back to the door. Sorry. I got excited.
Can I offer you guys anything? Coffee? Clearly decaf.
Yeah, I don't think caffeine... Or are you one of those people that caffeine has, like, the exact opposite effect?
I mean, I just have to take in a lot of calories. I haven't really noticed a change in how caffeine does. My mom doesn't keep caffeine in the house, so like.
Yeah, we talked about getting Moby Dicks, although I'm not realizing you probably need a ton of Moby Dicks.
Oh yeah, no, I could eat a ton, but yeah, I'm up for whatever, So remember how you said he had like the chest pocket for his phone? He has one on the other side. He pulls out and he has a wallet, and he's like, and I got money. I can pay for the food. Don't worry about it.
That's okay, kid.
No, you're being so nice. You're letting me into your home or your base or whatever.
It's my home.
Do you like living here?
Better than what I got here.
Okay, I want to say I whistle and the dogs come. I can't whistle.
Bodega and cafe run on up.
And I go, hey, want to play with some dogs?
Oh, hell yeah. And he runs up and he kind of sits down and he's like petting them. He's like, so like, are these like post-battle therapy dogs?
A way of thinking of it, I reckon.
Oh, or I mean, you live here. Are these your pets?
Yep. That one's cafe. That one's bodega.
Oh man, I cannot talk about this on the forums, but that is so cool.
Forum?
Yeah, and just, people have all these ideas about like who you guys are and stuff, and it's just really cool to get to know the real you, or the real. I've learned a lot about parasocial stuff. The real you that you're willing to show to others. So I guess, but this is different. But that's because this is in person and not really online. But you're still anyway.
Kid, Jesus Christ, we're superheroes, not Twitch streamers.
Flashbacks to all the times that Bethany has been making fucking social like compilation videos of y'all.
Ruby flashing back to the podcast she was on earlier that day.
Brock's a Gen Xer, and not a particularly hip one.
Yeah. Brock, there are videos of you on the internet.
Oh god, what kind?
They're cute. You're fine.
Oh god.
Pat. There's definitely fan fiction on these forums, right? Like, no way there's not.
Oh my god, yeah.
Listen, if you're not gonna make me pay, I can go get the food.
It's okay. Like, I can also, and I, like, make a pizza. I was like, also, we could snack on this while we're waiting, and I make, like, a pizza.
And you see Sonic Boom politely waits for everyone else to go grab like their slices.
I know you need to eat a lot, and I give him like his own pizza. Yeah.
Hey, Rumi, can we maybe have an option without like cheese or dairy in it at all for Megan here?
Sure. Also, hi Megan.
Oh my god, have you two met?
No. Hi Megan.
And she's just been politely sitting there and she goes, hi.
Does she know about superhero stuff? I'm assuming yes.
I stand there in my Lazerhawk outfit and just sort of put my arms out like...
That's why I assumed yes.
Yeah, we've kind of crossed that bridge already, Ruby.
Hi, I'm Ruby. Nice to meet you. I assume vegan? Vegetarian?
Yes, that would be fantastic. And yeah, we met before.
Oh, yes. At the hot dog stand.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you again. Sorry, it's a lot going on as I point to the child.
Oh, sure, no, new kid.
Yeah, I make her a vegan pizza.
Ooh. And she's like super excited. We have not tried this yet.
Have we not? I failed you.
I'm not the best at making vegan options, so like I'm not as experienced. So let me know how it tastes.
And she also just starts devouring it. She turns around from you, and you can't quite see it, but it looks like she basically absorbs it whole. Like, unhinges her jaw and just, like, loop.
Is the reason she knows about the superhero stuff is that she's powered?
It's a bit of a long story that I think is best come from the source. TLDR, yeah, she's powered.
And she turns back around, and she's, like, grabbed a napkin, and she's kind of, like, dabbing at her mouth.
Does anyone want ranch? And I make one, I go, here, this one is a vegan one.
I'm from the Midwest, you fucking know I want ranch.
And she takes the ranch just like a Jello shot.
Darling, you're supposed to dip the food in that. That's a sauce.
But I already ate the food.
Underneath Brock's breath. Jesus Christ, I think I'm in love.
And I go, here, and I give her another pizza and another thing of ranch. And then I make my own, and I go, you dip.
Pam just sighs, and she just unclasps the helmet and takes it off. I'm not eating the pizza. Hi, I'm Pam.
Kid, now that we've fed you, I have a question I think does need to be asked. You said your parents don't know you're here?
Wait, what the fuck?
I know. Like, how long did it take you to run here?
Oh, yeah, no, it didn't take me that long to get here. A couple hours. I took some back roads, though, so I didn't have to accidentally mess up any major traffic patterns.
Fair. Where do your parents think you are?
At a friend's house. That friend's parents thinks that we're at his house, and my friend I just told him I had some stuff to do, and he said, cool, he's going to use it as an excuse.
That kid is doing drugs.
No, I think he's hanging out with his girlfriend.
Her name is Drugs.
I didn't think we were going to really be hanging out a whole bunch. I figured I would just run home.
That's fair. I don't know exactly how old you are, kid. I'm assuming your parents should know where you are age, though.
Fine. Yeah. I'll be 15 next week.
What the fuck?
I appreciate that you want to be a hero, and I admire it. But also, you need to stay safe. It's,
Well, no, I don't normally do stuff like this. Like I said, my thought was just I would just run here and run back.
That's fair. But also, I felt like I needed to feed you because you ran here.
Thank you very much. It's very nice of you.
Try to keep hold of this phone.
It's around this conversation when he actually takes, like, the mask off, because I know he gave his name, but I don't think I said he took his mask off.
I guess I can, and I just go and, like, make my mask dissolve.
It's very nice that you guys let me in here, and I know this is probably, like, an inconvenience, and that you guys are probably, like, you had other stuff to do, but I really appreciate it, and I'll be out of your hair soon.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you're safe, and, like...
Brock walks up to the kid, basically hands him a business card. You are going to keep me up to date with your activities.
Yes, I would also like to be kept up to date.
Yeah, of course. And now you guys have my number and I have yours, so we can definitely do that or...
Yeah, let us know if you need anything. I don't know anyone, like, on the West Coast, but it might be worth checking in with, like, is there a Union base near you?
I think there's an outpost. Yeah, there's definitely one. I'm not really familiar.
It's better not to work alone, especially when you're so young. You want people to knowing where you are.
I guess you're right. I'll keep people in the loop then.
Especially, like, your parents are just trying to look out for you. The last thing you want is you going up, fighting someone, and something bad happens, and then no one knows where you are. Rickard has, like, a Union phone, right?
He has a Union number.
Here, if you ever need something at Union, I gave him Rickard's Union number, and then I also text Rickard, explain who number I just gave it to. It's a Union agent that I know is trustworthy, and he lives out here, but he would know people out there.
Okay.
If you're ever in any trouble and need some help.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys looking out for me.
Of course, and I put my hand on his shoulder and just be like, just be careful out there.
I will. He pulls out his phone, he looks at it, and he goes, okay, I should probably start heading back if I want to be able to, like, crash for the night.
Sounds good, kid. And I go, why don't you give me a text when you get back to California?
Aye. I'll send you some pictures on the way.
You're all gonna be blurry as shit. He's not gonna stop.
Yeah.
Just looks like fucking, like, impressionist paintings.
So he heads on out.
I mostly wanted to make sure that kid ate something and understood that he should tell his parents where he is.
Still think we're gonna be on a list.
If I could tell him he was too young, I would have, but you saw him. I think that message would have gone in one ear and out the other faster than he can run.
Oh, if we'd have told him to hang it up, that boy would be dead in a month.
Yardak, what are your thoughts on the matter about, this young child potentially being, like, trying to be a hero?
I like his energy. He's gonna get his shit wrecked.
And what are the lot of you doing?
We can just hang out for the night. We haven't seen each other in a while.
Hope everyone's ready to sit down and shut up. Wheel of Fortune's on.
Make it so, where have you been staying while you've been in town?
And she points up to, like, the loft area that, Brock's space is in. Oh, I stay up there with him.
Oh, okay, so you're staying here. That's cool.
I would have probably told my friends more tactfully, but...
Ruby's surprise is more at the fact of just, like, how blunt it was. Oh, nice.
And Rickard actually texts you, Ruby, and says, wait, if you all are, like, hanging out at the hut, can I come over?
Cool if Rickard comes over?
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, come on over. And I said I was just trying to make sure the kid was safe first.
Oh, Ruby, you're always thinking about everybody else. I'll be over in a little bit.
How do I seem to keep on adopting teenage-powered children?
He reacts to it. Yardak, what's on your mind? Yaradamo's playing with the dogs now.
So Yaradamo and Yardak hop a squat on the ground, and we're just kind of, like, batting around Cafe and Bodega, and, we're just hanging out, and then getting to know Megan a little bit better. And so I'm like, hey, Megan, what's it like being with our perennial alcoholic stick in the mud, Lazerhawk?
Brock fucking glares daggers at him.
And I go,
what does stick in the mud mean? The way you said it sounds pejorative, but he's delightful.
it's a little bit of both, actually.
Actually, you figured that one out pretty fine on your own.
I'm decently good at context clues.
Alright, no, that's fair. I had to explain a few. I'm really not helpful with the stick in the mud thing right now, am I?
Hero point for Lazerhawk.
Oh, yay!
Brock has been telling me you've lived underwater?
Yeah, since day one. I'm an Atlantean. My home is at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. I've only recently come up here a couple years ago and met these fine heroes.
And she looks at you kind of quizzitively, and then kind of looks at Lazerhawk and back at you. Which one is the Atlantic Ocean again?
That's the one that we're on.
It's the one to the left of the river. On the other side of the ocean, I think from this location, is Portugal.
How have you been liking Riverside?
Oh, it's been great. I've gotten to learn so many different things, and this is such like a cool town with such a rich history, and getting to spend all this time with Brock has been really nice. Glad that I'm getting to hang out with you all now, though.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to finally be spending more time with you, too. And then I look at Brock like, I'm usually just a part of your life, Brock.
I'm sorry?
Fair, but she's cool and I want to hang out with her.
Alright, well, come over more often. God damn, it's two-way street.
You were out of town a bunch.
I was out of town for like a weekend. You're gonna give me shit for being out of town, Hollywood?
So, Megan, what brought you to town?
And then she looks at Brock, and she looks back at you. Should I?
These are the people who I trust. They're safe.
And also Yardak.
Rickard likes aliens, he's fucking one.
Ha!
Well,
So, long story short, I'm from what you call outer space.
Oh, me too.
What?
Kind of.
Huh?
My powers are actually alien-based.
Well, I don't feel like Brock has mentioned that.
Yeah, I was like, Brock's maybe not the best at telling the people in his life about the other people in his life.
I believe Brock mentioned probably that I have abilities.
That part I did bring up.
One of my abilities that seems to be unique to me is I have some level of, Brock, you told me the word, pre- and post-cognition.
Okay.
Shit, I told you that word? How drunk was I?
You kept saying past sight and future sight sounded weird.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so you can see stuff that's already happened that you weren't there for. You can also see stuff that's going to happen. Is that right?
Exactly.
Cool.
And that led me here.
That ability is not the way I assume you ate a little differently than I would is normal from where you're from.
More than likely, I don't believe any of my people have ever been here before to Earth.
But your pre and post cognition, that is unique to you.
Exactly. Nothing in any of our texts really had anything to say like it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's taken me some getting used to for sure.
so like, what flavor alien are you?
Proving that I'm good at context clues, flavor is not something that applies to beings that you're not eating. So, and I know that you don't do cannibalism here. I've been told that's a big no.
Big no.
One of the abilities that many in my species have is that we can change forms to a limited degree. And so most of my people don't look like this. And she points to herself who looks like, 100% human.
That makes sense.
So I did some minor alterations to blend in. Connected with this, when we are in our native form, we don't speak in the way you do.
This makes sense.
We don't operate on, I guess I would say, the same frequencies. I could try to show you.
Sure. The alien species that I got my powers from also they can manipulate their looks a little bit.
Oh, I see. Tell me more.
Well, I'm from a state called Texas. Some of it's chill, some of it's not. When I was visiting home a couple years ago now, there was a meteor and I was weirdly drawn to it. And I woke up being able to do this. And I make an illusion of, like, all of us sitting around.
Oh, Aldrechi.
Yes!
The Aldrechi don't change their form. They illusion a new form.
Yes.
So you actually change.
I'm physically manipulating my form when I do this.
Oh, interesting. I also only figured out I was Aldrechi, like, last year, right?
Oh, it must be so nice to kind of become more aware of who you were and get to live that authentically.
Yeah, it really is. And I met a great man named Naren Betrus, and I was able to do some training with him before he had to leave the planet. It was very helpful. I can do even more things now.
I'll try to show you what I sound like. And she turns around, and you hear like what sounds like, shh, and then you hear. It sounds like the AOL sound done by a whale.
My favorite description I've ever heard for anything ever.
And so she does that, and then you hear the shh, and then she turns around again.
I see what you were saying about frequencies.
So I don't know what I would call it. My people also haven't really interfaced with too many other cultures.
I imagine it's probably hard.
They tend to be a bit more...
Isolationist?
Isolationist, thank you. Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. That they don't really want to connect with outsiders. But I've always wanted to, so I don't know if that's why maybe I got these abilities.
That could be. That's fascinating. I don't know if Brock here has told you, even before I had these powers, I was very interested in, like, sci-fi and aliens. Do you know what sci-fi means? I'm now realizing.
We have watched Star Wars. Yes.
I also enjoy Star Wars. I would classify Star Wars maybe more science fantasy, because I think there are fantasy elements to it.
Space opera.
Space opera is a good way to put it.
She's going to cross her arms and look at Brock and say, you said science fiction.
I just care about this more than he does.
I gesture toward her as if to agree.
I really like a show called Space Cadet.
At this point, I will say that's when Rickard arrives. Rickard walks in, stops, points at Megan, looks at the rest of you. New girl?
Yep, not the new one that you were told about earlier. That was a new boy. Megan, Rickard, Megan.
This is Alan.
Brock flinches a little bit when she calls him Alan.
And he goes to shake her hand and says, hi, Alan Rickard, nice to meet you. And she goes, likewise.
Yes, this is my boyfriend. He works for a union. Because I want her, in case she doesn't want to say to a union agent, I want her to know that he's a union agent.
United Nations Irregular Operations Network. Rickard looks at her and goes, yep.
Yes, she's Brock's friend? Is there a label?
We're going steady, Rumi.
Is there a label from this century?
She puts her arm around Brock and goes, yes, I would describe our relationship as very stable. Rickard, pauses for a moment and goes, alien.
How in the fuck?
Well, she's not an Atlantean, and she just doesn't seem... I can't put my finger on it, but she seems a little out of step, and I can't figure out what it is.
What, do you have alien dar now?
What? No. And then Megan goes, but he is right.
Yeah.
And he just goes, chalk one up to Aliendar.
Did you know I was an alien before I did?
And he leans in, fuck no, I'm just rolling. No, I don't question a whole lot that goes on in this building.
Yeah, honestly, me either.
So Yardak, has it been interesting meeting another alien?
I come from real far down there. She comes from real far up there. I say we cut the difference. We're pals now.
I like how Yardak got a little southern here, too.
That's just me sometimes because my family's from South Carolina. It slips out every now and again.
I like to imagine that Yardak likes to fuck with Rickard every now and again with that.
All right. I came here to relax. I'm not on duty anyway.
Oh, the kid's gone now. And then I make some wine.
Alright, so this is kind of like that whiskey stuff I've had you drink, Megan, but significantly more pleasant.
And she takes a sip of it and she goes, it reminds me of grapes.
It is made of grapes.
It is fermented grapes. The fermented makes you feel all buzzy.
I'm familiar with the buzzy. And Yaradamo says, it's still early out of. We could go out on the town a little bit.
That's true. Let's do that. Obviously I couldn't do that when I had the 14-year-old child.
Well, yeah, no shit.
Pam at this point goes, I'm going to call it a night for me.
That's fair, because I was about to suggest that we go to your work, and I feel like you probably wouldn't want to go there on your day off.
Yeah, appreciate the offer. No, I'm going to go home and get some sleep. It's been a long day.
It's totally valid. Good seeing you, kid.
Thanks for coming out on patrol with me earlier.
She goes to give you a fist bump, Ruby.
I specifically do the Baymax. Blah, 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 blah.
And she does it like, blah, 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 blah. I'll talk to you later, Brock. Yardak, Yaradamo, as always.
It's just couples now, right?
Yeah.
I make it like a cute dress and like change.
And Rickard will say was wearing kind of like a casual outfit, but not like t-shirt and jeans. Like we'll say he had like a little blazer on.
Where do you want to go? Do you want like a club, or do you want a bar? Like we can hit up Jack's.
Last time we went clubbing, your friend made someone's eyes bleed.
Yeah, well, he's not here anymore. He's alive, but he is not here anymore.
So we just go into Jack's?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I feel like we shouldn't scare our new friend Megan here by going too crazy tonight.
Well, that's when Rickard says, "Oh, but wait, it's Saturday, and there's an event downtown in the park. They're having like a little band event, bunch of little bands playing around the park.
That could be fun.
You know,
If you really want to go, Jax, we can."
I'm just gonna voice it out there now that anytime we go to an event, things tend to go tits up. But some live music does sound fun.
I'm down to get drunk in public.
Honestly, though, I think it just might be anytime there's an event in this city, we should be there.
Lazerhawk, would you rather it go tits up and we're all the way across town?
You know, when you word it like that, it doesn't exactly get me jazzed on the idea, but yeah, sure, fuck it.
At 210 years old, Yardak is no stranger to combat, but the Riverside Hive is not his first squad. As a well-rated medic coming out of the Atlantean Military Academy, the Ward of the Palace was assigned to the elite but volatile Fluid Force. They were led by Yarthrill, a brash and capable leader with a secret. He had broken Atlantean law and spent decades on the surface world, blending in with human society, and even falling in love. This ended with him returning to Atlantis with a new dislike of monarchs after seeing the American Revolution play out. Yarthrill was assigned Ula Dion as his first officer. Ula Dion is a by-the-books and ruthlessly efficient sniper. That by-the-books nature is contrasted with Ula Moore, the team's erratic demolitions expert. Ula Moore was assigned to Fluid after a string of incidents led to her being kicked out or reassigned away from other squads. Rounding out the squad was Yarzin, the team's technician who enjoyed finding ways to DIY his assigned technology to do things it wasn't originally meant to. This squad taught young Yardak a lot about strategy and loyalty. Does this group sound cool to you? Well, you can check them out in our latest stream, Beneath the Depths. It's available to watch on our website at masksandmayhem.com.
Megan, has he taken you to see the live music yet?
No, he showed me some of his favorite bands, some of their live recordings.
Snake Bit rules us.
I still liked Metallica better.
Oh, you've got such good taste, girl.
Adorable. How much are we drinking there? Should I just leave the van here and we all take a car?
Yeah, for posterity's sake, I reckon we can take a broom over.
Let's do that.
First things first, we take a walk a couple blocks down.
Okay.
Megan walks into a room and kind of changes into a similar outfit to yours, Ruby, but like a different color, like a complementary color scheme. What are you putting on, Brock?
The exact same thing I always wear, only with a snake bitten t-shirt underneath.
Okay. What about Yardak and Yaradamo? Or you could be a bit more inconspicuous if you didn't want to wear Atlantean garb out in public tonight.
I want to turn to Ruby and say, make me something understated, but fancy.
Your actual clothes are quite fancy to begin with, Yardak.
Thank you.
I make a cool, navy suit.
A suit?
No tie, but with trying to think a navy, I don't want to just do a white shirt, so I was trying to think of a cooler, maybe a brown shirt.
And Yaradama looks at you and goes, "You look good."
I look even better out of the suit, baby.
And he laughs at that. Wait, can you make one for me, Ruby?
And I go, sure, I like the same thing, or
I trust your instincts.
Yeah, I make the kind of a similar suit, but it's maroon, and a black shirt.
And he says, ooh, give me some cool sunglasses.
And I go, it's night, but here you go.
And he always has him down at the bridge of his nose. And then Rickard calls in the Vroom. You get a Vroom XL, so all six of you can fit.
my dress. It's a 50s style dress that has kind of space, like pinup drawings all over it, and then a leather jacket.
All right, and a lot of you get in the room, you head downtown to Bendis Park, where you were at a big music event a long time ago there, in a very different context.
Is this when we saw Carly exclamation point?
Mm-hmm. And Firemasters. But this time, it's just a lot of bands playing acoustic sets. They're all local bands.
Cool.
And the park has like a path that runs through it, and they're kind of just like situated along the path, like just far enough away that their music isn't like competing against each other.
Nice.
So you're kind of just getting an opportunity to kind of just stroll around and see each other. Rickard's holding your hand, Ruby.
Adorable.
Yaradamo has his hand in your back pocket, Yardak.
Hey, he's squeezing a cheek.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ruby's kind of like holding his hand, but like leaning in.
Mm-hmm. And Megan kind of copies a similar motion with you, Lazerhawk.
Oh, I've got an arm wrapped around her.
Aw. So yeah, you're walking along. What's going through your minds as you're having this nice night out?
Please don't go wrong. Please don't go wrong. Please don't go wrong.
I'm just sitting there like I'm bopping up and down, and I'm like, man, this is so much fun.
Ruby's looking around and goes, "Oh my god, are all three of us in healthy relationships?"
Don't jinx it.
I didn't say it out loud. I said it in my head. Like, I end up putting my arm around Rickard, kind of lower back, I guess.
Megan slows you and her down, Brock, so the others are kind of walking ahead of y'all.
Okay.
Yaradama's kind of pulled you off to the side, Yardak, and so you can kind of just like listen to some of the music.
Mm-hmm.
Like you pulled you off to actually listen to one of the bands up close.
Mm-hmm.
And Megan looks up at you and whispers, "He loves her so much."
Yeah. Ruby's a good person. She deserves someone like Rickard around.
Hey, you deserve someone like Rickard around too.
Oh, shucks, sweetie.
I just mean someone that makes you happy. Hopefully me.
I was just about to say.
She flashes a smile as she says, "I can play a joke as well."
Getting pretty good at it. Getting used to this whole human sense of humor.
Ruby, while the two of you are walking, Rickard looks down at you and says, "We've never gotten to do anything like this before. I'm really happy for Brock."
Me too. I know I just met her, but, you know, especially with everything he's had happen in his life, I'm glad that he didn't let this pass him by.
And Rickard looks down at you and goes, "You know, it's important not to let the good things pass you by."
I agree, honey. And I look up and go, "I love you."
I love you too.
I like put both arms around him, side hug style, because we're walking.
How long do you spend, walking around? How many drinks do you get? I think is the other question.
Well, so, we'll say 3. I'm feeling that I'm having fun. I'm loosey goosey.
Brock wants to be tossing him back, but Brock just can't shake the feeling of I'm in public, something's gonna go wrong. So I have maybe enough to get like a decent buzz going, but not enough to where like if shit goes tits up, I'm gonna be fucked.
All right. And what about you, Ruby?
I think around the 3 of Yardak, too.
Yaradamo's shitty drunk.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. Yaradamo is pounding him back once he remembers that Ruby could just make him some.
How does alcohol affect Megan?
Megan has like a drink and she's fine. She doesn't seem super into it.
And I go, "Here, let me try this." And I make like a really sweet like cocktail. And I go, "Is this any better?"
Ooh, this is wonderful. What is it called?
It's called, and I'm not making this up, a sex on the beach.
All that sand? Rickard looks over, picks you up and puts you on his shoulder and walks away with you.
Amazing.
Like Fire Ant style?
So yeah, after like 20 feet, he puts you down again and he laughs about it.
You could at least carry me bridal style.
And he rolls his eyes and puts his arm back around you and you all keep walking. And you all stop and you're listening to a band play. And it's just kind of a nice, gentle moment as you're swaying back and forth to the music. As we slowly fade out, and we fade back in for a brief moment, and we see Yardak and Yaradamo getting home, and they're laughing, and they fall onto the bed, and they're embracing. And then we have another moment with Rickard and Ruby getting back to her apartment, and Rickard's kind of stumbling, and he says, "I'll be right back. I'm going to go use the restroom." Or do you need to use it first before you get ready for bed?
Go ahead.
What is your wind-down routine? I'm just curious.
I'm getting some pajamas on, because there's only one bathroom in this apartment, right?
Correct.
That I've got some like moisturizing stuff in my bedroom, because it's often that the bathroom is locked, so I'm going to do that in my bedroom.
So you're getting ready, you're moisturizing, and all of a sudden you hear Rickard go, "Hey, Ruby." And you turn around, and he's down on one knee.
Yeah!
Chapter 82. from Riverside, with love.
Masks and Mayhem uses the game Mutants and Masterminds 3rd Edition by our friends at Green Ronin Publishing. Check out the link in the show notes to get your own copy of the game. You can also help support us by making a one-time donation or becoming a monthly member through our Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/mayhemcast. The episode was written, produced, and given a relaxing night on the town by myself, R.C. Byler, with production assistance by Brandon Brownson. Our logo art is by Jenn Evans, and our font is by AJ Eisen. Our theme music is by Pope Brandon Brownson. Additional social media links, blog posts, and episodes can be found on our website at masksandmayhem.com.
We fade back into Brock and Megan getting back to the laser hut. The Vroom had dropped him off like a block away, and they're walking back. That was so nice to be out with everybody.
God, nothing bad happened.
Something bad doesn't have to happen every time, Brock. Don't be so pessimistic.
I have like 20 years of anecdotal proof that says otherwise.
Well, they don't let anecdotal evidence into scientific journals.
All right, you got me there.
But you have taught me that all of those journals are funded by big corporations to move forward their agenda, so...
Every single one of them. If you want anything legitimate, you gotta go underground. Quite literally.
And as you're walking up to the door, you hear a zzz, and when you look up, you see what is essentially could be described as like octagon-shaped, that is moving itself at like a high speed towards you, and then suddenly comes to a complete stop about 10 feet up. Like not right above you, but like sightline.
Hey, babe, do you have any idea what that is?
And she looks up and she goes pale white.
I see this reaction and Brock just...
And some vents open on the side of this thing and begins playing a tone that sounds very similar to what Megan was making earlier. You can't tell what it's saying, obviously, but it's kind of in a repeated fashion.
Darling, would you mind translating what the funny cube man is saying?
And the vents close and the sound stops and it zips right back up, flying into the sky. Oh God, they found me.
Who's they?
My people. Brock, we have a bunch more to talk about.
Well, come on in.